right, well, whether you're a new agent just trying to break through the noise or you're a seasoned pro, we all know that building a strong personal brand is what helps us stand out, build trust, and connect with ideal clients. So today's panel is all about exploring how we create that brand, making sure that it's not only recognizable, but also authentic, strategic, and sustainable in an ever-changing market. So we brought together a fantastic group of panelists. Each had their own unique experience and real-world experience in carving out their own niche. So we'll talk to them about their brand identity, how they leverage social media, building client loyalty. But before we dive in, I will introduce you to each of them. Forgive me, I am going to be reading because they just have too many accolades for me to remember. So we are going to start with Mr. Tim Cruz. Tim is a seasoned real estate professional with over 18 years of experience in the industry. He is the CEO and founder of Cruz Real Estate, brokered by eXp, where he leads a dynamic team serving the greater Fredericksburg and Northern Virginia regions. He holds a BS in psychology with a minor in business administration from Radford University and an MA in Christian leadership from Liberty University. His career began in property management and development, where he honed his skills in managing multifamily housing units and overseeing new community developments. This foundation laid the groundwork for his transition into residential real estate. Under Tim's leadership, Cruz Real Estate has achieved remarkable success with hundreds of sales under their belt. His team is known for its commitment to excellence, integrity, and client satisfaction, with over 80% of their business coming from referrals. Beyond his professional endeavors, Tim is deeply committed to servant leadership, both in his business and personal life. He and his wife lead a local church congregation and have 4 children, creating lasting memories. In his words, his purpose is to serve, impact, lead, and love. Mr. Tim Cruz. Next, we have Ms. Kara Dix. She is with Dix Real Estate, brokered by At Your Service Realty. Kara is a dynamic realtor who's made a major impact in just a few short years. Based in the Fredericksburg area, Kara has already helped more than 60 families navigate the buying and selling process, an accomplishment that speaks to both her dedication and connection to her clients. She's also established a successful team focused on outstanding customer service and responsiveness. What really sets Kara apart is how she's harnessed the power of social media to build a bold, recognizable brand, not only for herself, but for the successful team she's created. She's proved that when you lean into authenticity, show up consistently, and learn how to love the platform, social media can be one of the most powerful tools in your marketing toolkit. Today, she's excited to share the strategies that helped her grow her business and her brand online, and how you can do the same in a way that feels aligned, sustainable, and accurate. All right, next we have Ms. Phyllis Swan. Phyllis is the co-owner of Real Property Management Regions, a veteran and woman-owned real estate asset management firm rooted in purpose, community, and legacy. With a BA in theater and years of experience in the performing arts, Phyllis developed a deep appreciation for storytelling, presence, and the human experience, skills that continue to shape how she leads, connects, and communicates today. Her career path led her into federal service, where she dedicated over 2 decades to both the U.S. Army as a civilian and later the Department of Homeland Security. As a military spouse and devoted mother, including to a daughter with complex medical needs, Phyllis knows firsthand the importance of stability, planning, and heart-centered leadership. Inspired by her late mother's passion for real estate investing, Phyllis co-founded Real Property Management Regions alongside her husband, Stephen, with the mission to help others build wealth and security through strategic property management. Today, their work is guided by a strong commitment to community service, supporting nonprofits, empowering families, and treating every client as a valued partner in the journey toward long-term real estate success. It's Phyllis Swan. And last but certainly not least, let's welcome Mr. Gordon Duncan, founder and CEO of Capitalize Marketing and Consulting. Gordon transforms real estate professionals into lead-generating rock stars through his proprietary Capitalize Your Best program, offering training and agency support. Capitalize has a track record of empowering over $10 million in revenue growth for his real estate clients. On a personal note, Gordon is blessed with an amazing family, happily married to his wife Amy for 29 incredible years, and he's the proud dad of 3 brilliant daughters. Outside of work and family, Gordon is an epilepsy fighter and epilepsy awareness advocate. Part of his fight is endurance running, where he holds such accolades as qualifying for and running the Boston Marathon, and winning the 2023 Masters Division of the Marine Corps Historic Hack Double Dog Double. You can learn more about Gordon at Capitalize Marketing and Consulting at www.capitalizeyourbest.com. All right, so we'll go ahead and kick off with just a group kickoff question, and then we're going to do a little bit of round robin so you can hear the unique perspective from everyone. So I won't pick who goes first, but you can each hop in. Branding can mean different things to different people. In just a sentence or two, how would each of you define what brand means in the real estate context?
I'll go first. Okay. So I think it's so interesting this question said in real estate context, because branding in real estate can look so different than branding anywhere else. If I show you this is a great example. We all know what this is. It's Starbucks, right? Branding in real estate is branding you. You are your brand.
Okay, in real estate, a brand is the reputation that precedes you. It's what people associate with you in their everyday experience with you. So they know when they see you what you're about, what you stand for, what you stand there. For us, we wanted to make sure that we put out trust and transparency and action. You know, our clients depend on it. They depend on us being able to help them grow their portfolio. So when they come to us, they know they're going to get that expert, the workhorse behind them, along with our trusted partners.
Great, thank you. Gordon?
Yeah, branding for real estate is so personal. It can't just be a logo or a color scheme because people wouldn't even know what they know about you just by those things. So it really is what people think about you as a real estate agent. You can say, hey, I'm a realtor, it won't mean anything. But if you say, hey, I'm a realtor who specializes in downtown Fredericksburg, all of a sudden people know something about you. So it's what people think about you in association with being a realtor. And that has to be developed extensively over and over again. But it can't just be, hi, I'm a realtor, because that really doesn't make any impact. So it's what people think about you beyond just a reputation. It's what you're associated with, who you target, and what problems you solve.
That's great. To add, that's all great, guys. I will add and say, it's who you are as a person. It's taking your personhood and applying that to the marketplace to say that they're a great person, they're kind, they're generous, upright person, and full of integrity, but they also know how to sell real estate, bring it to the marketplace, and have a huge way going.
Great.
Yeah.
I think all great points. I mean, what I heard from each individual is really marketing your brand is supposed to identifying who you are with what you're marketing, right? And then not only that, but how are you the expert in what you do? So we're going to go ahead some round robin because each of these individuals has a unique perspective in their experience, where they focus within real estate and what their niche is. And then we'll get to some lightning round at the end. So Gordon, your business is focused on helping individuals capitalize on their strengths. How can realtors pinpoint and showcase what sets them apart, especially in a crowded market?
Yeah, I'm excited about that because, again, there's so many of you. And so the thing is to figure out what is it that's distinct about you in the marketplace. So if your background is military, then you need to be able to serve the military and say, I'm an expert in that area. And by the way, I expect every one of you to be an expert in that area if people are going to hand you $10,000. And so if you're fantastic at military relocation, you do that. If you're fantastic at helping people who are transitioning into their second home, it's finding out what you have a distinct ability and skill at, and then just blowing that out in social media and marketing. This is what I'm good at, and then speak to a target audience. So for some of you, I'm going to maybe hurt some feelings. Some of you don't know what you're good at. And so I would greatly encourage you to either work through that with me or through someone else or through honest questions. Like, what makes me distinct? Because if you aren't distinct, no one's going to distinctly give you money. And so it means a reflection to say, who is it that I'm uniquely designed to serve? And the best way to think of that is I'm usually best able to serve the person I used to be. And so, because you're always the expert ahead of them. So if you're a mom and you've navigated the suburbs and kids playing sports, then that's who you are. Go speak to that audience. So I had a career for 20 years before this, and so I know how to help people make transition and build audiences. So figure out what's distinct about you and what you can speak to and say, I'm really good at this. Then figure out who needs that problem solved. When you match those two people up, they start giving you money. How's that?
So Tim, over 18 years experience, you have obviously nurtured your brand through different market cycles. How have you kept it fresh and relevant without losing the essence of what your business stands for or remaining authentic?
Great question. So for me, it's been extending who I am as a person to the marketplace. So for example, if you look at your core values, like who are you? What do you stand for? So for me, it's God, it's family, it's business, it's self-leadership, it's accountability, it's being coachable, and then taking that to the marketplace that extends out. And then, so therefore, you're not trying to make up who you are. You're just being yourself and then letting that grow to the marketplace and helping other people.
I think that's a great point, because I think what we can all say is when you attempt to be disingenuous, it comes across as disingenuous. People know that's not you. That's not who they're interacting with. So kind of transitioning, Kira, you have built a really great brand within a short amount of time using social media. What are some of the strategies that you use to make sure that you and your team stand out and connect with your ideal clients?
Thank you. That's so sweet. Social media is so powerful because you can do what you can do in our area, right? You're going to meet people, you're going to network. All of those things are so important. But the power of social media is that you can reach so many more people. There's people that I'm serving right now that are in Florida that are a military family moving here. And I would not have met them if it wasn't for my Instagram account. That's the power of social media right there. And the thing with social media is even through the little videos that you post or the stories that you'll post every day, which are so important, if you're inauthentic, which is what you're going to hear all of us say each and every time, if you're not being true to who you are, no one will buy from you. They will see right through that and it'll go away very quickly and won't grow. Another thing with social media is being consistent, which is hard. I told someone when I just met them right now, I was speaking to myself up here because being consistent on social media is hard. Everyone thinks it's going to be easy. Oh, it's just a platform. I can post on it. It's going to be simple. It's hard. It's showing up for yourself and believing in yourself each and every day. And if you don't have those set up, set them up today. Set up that Instagram account, link it to your Facebook. It can all work together. Have that Google account. All of those things are such powerful tools to reach not only people in your area, but people moving to your area, to attract those buyers and know who you're talking to in that audience too.
So Phyllis, property management requires a different approach than typical buying and selling. I think something I always hear you and Steven talk about is that you are managing people's portfolios, not just their property management.
Right.
So what branding tactics have been most effective in establishing credibility within that specialized market?
Like what everyone else is saying, knowing who you are. When we got into this several years ago, we knew we did not want to be known as just property management. We tried to set ourselves apart where asset managers, real estate asset managers, and we wanted to deliver a higher quality than just going and taking a rent or fixing a toilet. We wanted to help people grow their investment. It wasn't just an address. It's part of their wealth portfolio. And so we worked very hard at educating people about every little decision that you make affects your investment. So we established what we call an ecosystem. We have trusted partners because we don't know it all and we don't try to know it all. So we help surround our clients with people in different areas, like the Realtors. We don't sell, and we do that intentionally. We have a branding coach. We have lawyers, tax, title, and we want to make sure our clients are supported at every level. So it's to know who you are and surround yourself with trusted partnership to ensure our clients are winning.
So Gordon, I'll go back to you. Authenticity is something that every person has mentioned so far, but we know that marketing trends come and go. So what is your advice for staying authentic to your core brand promise while still adapting to different marketing channels or trends or techniques that come?
Probably try to be brief. In our cities, that word, stakes. It's the stakes. In ChatGPT, if you don't speak that way, it stinks. Like, it doesn't help you if that's not who you are. I think it's one of the questions later on. I'm going to jump to it. Figure out who you are, create a brand, stick to it. If you follow my page, it's going to be marketing, running, coffee, my family, and pop culture, and I'll never talk about anything other than that because that is who I am. It's the easiest thing for me to talk about. So if all of a sudden you start getting geopolitical conflicts in South America, that's not me. Someone hijacked my page. You're gonna get exactly who I am, and I pick things that are not offensive to my target audience, very easy for me to talk about, so I can create massive amounts of content, so that in the authenticity part, when people meet me, I'm exactly who I am online. I'm not anything different. So people are like, I have no idea what to talk about. Then who are you? I don't care if it's knitting or cats. I don't care. Talk about those things in addition to your realty, and you're going to be fine. But when you start straining and stuff, they're like, well, I think this person would like for me to talk about that. If you don't want to talk about it, they don't want to hear it from you. And so find out who you are, lean into it, massive amounts of content. But please be who you are. Except, now, if who you are is mean and angry, don't be something. Or something you are, but please try not to be that. Please don't try to do that online. But it's being consistent with who you are, and that enables you to create that amount of content that gets attention, because that way people already know you by the time they find you.
So we're going to transition a little bit because we've talked about our brand, who we are, but then sometimes we get to a point in our careers where we're building teams, and you're bringing in other personalities into that mix. So Tim, what is the biggest challenge in ensuring that your team embodies the same values and message that define your brand? Or how do you encourage your team to build their own brand while staying true to those core values?
Yeah, great question. So I think it falls down to initially hiring the right people the right way. Over the past 12, 15 years, I've hired the wrong hire many times, and the great hires, they're here today. So Terry is here, my ops manager. So she's like the other part of being real estate. For 8 years working with me, right? Kaylee's there, be a year coming up soon. So I think if you know, again, your personal core values, who you are, then you hire to that. So if you're God, family, business, accountability, being coachable, set leadership, if that person also has that, it'll be a great fit. If they don't have it, you're going to bump heads all day long. It'll be a disaster. And so, you might say, well, they're going to be a great person, great realtor, they're going to be awesome, let me hire them. But then they have their own core values, and it's not going to work. So identify your core values, write those down, and then you hire to those, and you'll always be a win-win. The second part was, what's the part of the question?
Oh, I think more of when you're building that team, and let's say they're trying to build their brand as a realtor as well. How do you help them do that, but also stay true to that mission within?
Yeah, so you allow them to be an entrepreneur in your organization, right? So there's an entrepreneur, the grand vision, and then entrepreneur says, I can come and build my dream, my vision inside of your organizations. And if they can do that, it's a win-win. So we're talking about like income goals being met, work-life balance being met, being coached up and winning at work, but also winning at home. And if you can do that, it's a massive win.
I think it's really important to remember as well that as we build teams, as we start to expand that scope, everybody has different goals of what those things mean to them. Work-life balance does what income goals mean. So Kara, I'll ask you, you've transitioned from an individual agent to recently building, we're going to say, a younger team. So how have you kind of focused on what social media and marketing looks like as that brand is evolving through your team?
This was such a funny question to me, because having a team, if you would have asked me when I first started my career, was never on my bingo card. That's what everyone's saying right now, right? That was never on my bingo card for myself, but obviously God had different plans for me. And so it started out with my husband joining my team. And I'm like, okay, I started Dick's Real Estate, which again, take yourself seriously. If you don't take yourself seriously, no one is going to take you seriously. Make that business from day one. Do your taxes, do the right thing. So take yourself seriously. I started Dick's Real Estate when it was just me. Then it grew to my husband. Then it grew to my sister-in-law. And then my wonderful teammate, Sheena, joined us. And now we have an intern, Eli. It's growing so big in such a short amount of time. It was never anything that I intended for it to be, but I'm so thankful for it. With that, it's Dick's Real Estate. Who knows what it will be 2 months from now. But I'm thankful for where it is right now. And growing your team, start systems from the beginning. If you start systems from the beginning as you grow, if you've already created them, it becomes so much easier. So even if it's just you right now and you're like, I would love to have a team of 2 agents a year from now, say that's your goal. Create systems that are going to allow you to be there in a year. If you're like, oh, it's just me and I don't need to have that checklist. I don't need to have this Canva account where we can have all of the same looking marketing. You won't be able to scale your business as you grow and as you want to hit your goals. So start that from day one. It's work. It's not easy. If someone's telling you that it's going to be easy, they're lying to you. How is it okay? Like, as real estate agents, we have to take our serious. It's our business. It needs to work for us, yes, but we also have to work for our business too.
So Phyllis, again, I go back to property management a little bit different because your team is an ecosystem. Like you said, it's a lot in the partners that you use. It's not necessarily our regions growing, although it may be, right? But it is a much larger scale team dynamic. Yeah. So in that field, there are ongoing landlord-tenant relationships. How do you make sure that you maintain that strong brand image, handle challenges that come up through that process, and make sure that you're maintaining what that brand looks like through those long-term relationships?
Well, for us, it because we had a big franchise that we started, was the foundation, but it's not how we've developed our business. In fact, when we got started, it was like, okay, yeah, they have good values, they have good processes, and that's why we went with them, because we didn't want to try to reinvent the wheel. But as we got more knowledge about what we were doing and how we wanted people to perceive us, we developed our own processes. And frankly, we got people from RPM coming over to how we're handling things. And, that's an amazing compliment to us, because our area was challenging for us. So we had to really think of ways to be different and step out and let people know that we are here in the community. And that's why we do a lot of charity events, nonprofit. We want people to know we're not just here to make money, but we want to give back. And it's so important, especially in this day and age. And we wanted people to know that there's no hidden cost, because a lot of property management, they have low rates, but then they nickel and dime you, and you're like, whoa, what's that? So we want to be very transparent in how we operated our business. And so we are in the midst of growing and bringing people on, and we've talked to people like, oh, they may be good. But as we talked and looked, I was like, I don't think that'd be a great fit. So we're slow to bring people on because we want them to have our same values. We want them to look at our business as a family, and not just what they can get out of it, but how we can benefit everyone. And that's why we developed the ecosystem, because when we do great, our ecosystem do great. Our clients do. So it's not just a one-facet thing. We're here to go forward and grow together.
Thank you. Gordon, you jumped ahead on one of my questions because you studied what I meant out, but that's fine. So you talked a little bit about defining personal brand, which I think is something that a lot of realtors struggle with when they start. So how do you advise someone to create a brand statement that's both specific and compelling for their ideal client?
Yeah, that starts with 2 things. Knowing what you're good at, and then your ideal client. So many realtors are afraid to speak to an ideal client because they're like, well, I want money from everybody. But I always tell my clients, if you market to everybody, you get nobody. You market to somebody, you get everybody. And so be good with a target client, and then you'll get further and further out. So again, you chose to be a realtor for a couple of reasons. What was the skill set that made you think you were going to be good at it? They grow on that. This is what I'm good at. You can't say I work hard and I'm honest. You guys all took vows to do that. So that should be the standard. So now, but can you build on that? Like, does work hard mean you can be contacted 24/7? Fine, then lean into that. Wouldn't recommend it. But what is it that specially makes you good at this job? It might even be something that you're especially good at as a person. Then grow that. Okay, well then whose problem can I solve? I always tell my clients, massive amounts of content, convincing people you can solve their problem equals revenue. So explain who you are to me over and over and over again. Explain you can solve my problem. And then I'm like, here, I got some cash for you. Can you do something for me? It works all the way down from Starbucks all the way up to the... So understand specifically, if you need help with it, get help with it. But what is it makes you specifically good? Whose problem can you solve? You put those two together, that's how you gain clients. Because people are stalking you right now. They're on your page. They're deep diving to see what you say from everything from the election to the weather. And if they like you and they feel like you can solve their problem, at some point in time, they're going to reach out and say, hey, I've been wanting to sell a house. I've been wanting to talk to you about it. But massive amounts of content explaining who you are to solve a problem is how you do.
That's great. I always love when Word makes the comment of, great, you say you're ethical or fair, well, it's kind of the bare minimum. We all got the pen and said that. And then I think we have to move past that preconception of, oh, well, they know I'm a realtor, so they'll let me know when they're ready. Well, newsflash, right? Everybody knows 30 different realtors. Why are they reaching out to you specifically?
I'll add just 5 seconds. I'm sorry. There's a million marketing companies. Maybe only realtors are there's competition for how many of us there are. So we're a marketing education agency. We're going to educate. We're not just going to provide for you. And then we have a team. And so I had to find something that's distinct. Why am I an educator? Well, I was a school teacher. I was a pastor. I've been doing all that for 30 years. That's what I'm good at. So I'm going to educate and I'm going to support as an agency. Somehow I had to be distinct in this giant ocean of marketing. Same thing for you. What makes you distinct? Lean into that and solve a problem.
So Tim, we find the client, or hopefully we do, right? We've identified the ideal client, but then it's about the experience that they have. So what role does client feedback or testimonials play in refining what your brand is, and how do you regularly incorporate that?
Yeah, so the way that we're structured, it is, I'm like fisherman. I get the fish, bring it home. Our admin team kind of takes it from there to like home. So I can be a daddy, pastor, all that I do. So we look at people's feedback and say, hey, that was great, that wasn't so great. And we tweak in real time. Like, should we change that, change this? But we allow the way that we brand, the way that we get testimonials to really derive that. Based on what the consumer said, and then how we feel, knowing it as well. Like, for example, yesterday I took a listing in Village of Idlewild for $584,991. The owner called me because she said she put in AI, best realtor in Village of Idlewild. I said, AI popped up. It's incredible. Like, how do you do that? And then she said, I'll watch your YouTube videos. I said, I was going to hire you immediately. She didn't mean 4 people. She hired us for the job. And so I think it's just, it's working really hard for one client and then letting that kind of get you more clients. So like, how do you go from one listing to making that 2 and 3 and 4 and having them multiply over time? Yeah.
So Kira, you talked about if somebody tells you social media is easy, they're lying, which I feel that because I know I struggle myself with consistency. So have there been any mistakes or misconceptions you had about social media branding along the way? If so, what did you learn? How did you adjust to keep that brand going?
So my first misconception was what you just said, Erica, of it's not easy. Oh, you're welcome. Fair enough. We don't take that. Like, it's not going to be easy, but it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be work. It's part of your job. If you want to grow and you want to scale your business, it's going to be part of your job to do things that are easy and that take your time. That's just part of it. I think misconception-wise, when you're looking at social media, you're going to, once you start posting your real estate videos, you're going to get flooded with other real estate videos. You will start to feel inadequate. You will be like, oh, I'm not as good as this person, so I can't do this anymore. So let that fear creep into your head. Keep posting, keep doing what you're doing. I think it was Horton who said, someone's stalking you right now, and it is the truth. Someone is drawn to your page because of who you are. It might be because you love cats and you're posting about your cat and there's one lady who does her dog in every single video. I think she's off live somewhere. In every single video that she does with her dog. And someone is buying from her because of who she is and the brand that she has created with her little fluffy dog in every single video. Or there's one lady who does the quirkiest videos of these houses. But if you are authentically you, and once you start using social media to be who you are, it doesn't feel as much of a job. I will tell you that. So it's going to be hard. It's going to feel weird at first. It might even feel inauthentic at first. But if you are being you and you're posting, I'm with my kids all the time. I love being with my kids. I'm attracting families by doing that. I'm attracting people who have kids around the same age as my kids. And that's just natural. That's naturally my stage of life. And they're naturally drawn to me because we might have a kid in the same sport, but she's in Florida and moving here. And she's like, hey, where does your daughter do cheerleading? What school are they in? And they're asking me questions, and that's how they get drawn to me. So it might feel a little weird at first. It's weird posting videos. It's weird doing the things. Keep going. Keep doing it. Don't let the fear creep into your head of you not being good enough, because it's not true. Keep going.
I think one thing I know Gordon often says is, if you have this preconception that people don't want to see what you have to say, that's inaccurate. So just post it anyway, right? So Phyllis, beyond the day-to-day responsibilities, which brand building activities have been the most effective at showcasing your expertise and what RP Region has to offer?
Well, my husband does a lot of posting. Yeah, people know me that I don't even know because of all of the posts. So, totally agree with Vera. Just put it out there. It's hitting home to somebody. Gordon is our branding coach, and in the beginning, yeah, it was hard. He was like, write down your attributes. Who are you looking for? I was like, just skip and so just knowing who you are, we really focus on the military community because that's our background and that's our passion, and just building on that. And he was right. Other people outside the military was coming in and reaching out to us. We do quirky videos. I mean, that's so important. We have our web optimizer seminars that we do, and those aren't sell pitches. It is strictly to educate people. We have our partners there who can answer questions, people who are trying to get into investing. We have professional investors there that can answer their questions. We have lenders there, lawyers there. We surround our clientele with people who can help them at every level. And that's been a game changer for us because people just love hearing about our wealth optimizer and how it just helps pinpoint where to go with your property and it's building a portfolio.
I think I am absolutely one of those people that was guilty of introducing myself to you like you should just know who I was, because I had talked to Steven at some point.
I hope I've gone pretty good at covering I don't know who you are.
You were fantastic.
At the skill.
So you guys have been so great that you've actually covered a lot of kind of the group questions that I was trying to go over. But I think just to reiterate, and you guys can chime in if you'd like, but we've talked about ideal client, why it's so important to narrow your focus, right? You're marketing to something, to a specific person, not everyone. Even though the market is changing constantly, we've talked about reasons to stay true to your brand and kind of what that looks like. But looking ahead, I'd say if there's one bold move that you each had to choose to elevate your brand or business in the coming year, or maybe just guidance for others, what would that be and why? Anyone can answer.
Yeah, I mean, for everyone up here,
For everyone,
do 10 times more than you're presently doing. And I'm not joking. If you say you don't have time, I manage my own marketing and I have an agency. Apart from any help I get from my graphic artist, I do 650 pieces of content a month from me. With help from my graphic artist, this last 30 days, I did 1,000 pieces. And if you say, I don't have time, if you have time for new clients, that gap is only marketing. So if you're full and you don't have any time for clients, I guess you're fine. You don't need to be here. But I assume all of you want more clients. Well, the space that you begin to serve them, the only single thing you should be doing that time is marketing. And so whatever you're doing right now, 10 times it. And if you're like, well, I don't want to annoy people. People don't even know who you are. They can't be annoyed by you. And I don't mean that ugly. There's 9.2 billion Facebook posts a day. So you'll be fine. You're going to have to do it. You're going to have to bludgeon the algorithm with good content. So if you want to make money in real estate, 10 times what you're doing. It's going to take strategy. It's probably going to take help from me or someone else. But people aren't going to find you if you post every other day. No one's going to find you. Your mom's going to find you every other day because that's going to be about you best.
Yeah, because it was the late, great Jim Rohn that said, and I quote, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And so if you're having a challenge between branding yourself, marketing yourself, because maybe there's a conflict between who you currently are and how you view yourself. And so maybe it could look at like maybe you have a self-esteem issue. Maybe you should work on maybe how you feel about yourself, think about yourself. Maybe it looks like you knowing who the Lord is, right? Whatever that gap is, like work on filling that gap. And as you make yourself become to be healthy, become to be whole over time, you will become the person you need to be the agent you want to be, and become what you earn. So work hard on yourself. I think the rest of the ball from there.
Be ready to get your feelings to in a healthy way, right? But I do think a part of working through your process, whatever that goal is for you, again, different for everybody, be ready to get your feelings hurt, either by yourself, your self-reflection, through people that you're asking for perspective on, because those have to be healthy, supportive, honest conversations. But yeah, it hurts a little bit to be like, nobody's paying attention to what you're doing.
And I think, again, knowing who you are, knowing the industry that you're in, and finding a way to set yourself apart. There's lots of property managers. You know, it's like McDonald's. We didn't want to be known as just property managers. And so that's why we have leaned towards real estate asset managers, because we're trying to help you grow your portfolio, not collecting that monthly rent, getting that monthly report. We wanted to go beyond that to offer more to help families succeed. And I think that's why people know who we are. I mean, we have several RPM sister franchises around us, and we thought that we would get lost in the muffled because, frankly, they're making multi-million dollars around us. And so starting out in the community that we had, we were like, oh my God, it can take forever. We're never going to get there. But it's been like 2 years. And people know us. They know what we're about. They know they're going to get quality. When we put a house in the market, 8 times out of 10, it's gone before, when we list it as coming soon, it's gone before it's on the market. Mm-hmm. So people know we have quality. That's what we stand for. They're not going to get shortcuts. We don't take owners if they're not going to take care of their property. If they want to be slumlords, we're not the right people for them. And I think that goes back to Gordon helping us realize what our brand was, what we wanted to represent. And you have to know yourself. You have to know what you want to do. You have to know what you want to stand for and build on that.
I think that's great. I think a big piece too is as you work through that journey, also identify what you're not. Because I think a lot of us have some really big ideas of what we think we want to do or can do or who we are. And then we do that work and we realize, I actually love that activity and still, I'm so sick. Right?
I'm sorry.
And try not to be everything to everybody, because you can't. You have your niche. Build on a niche and surround yourself with partners who know everything else and going to work with you to help your client.
Getting some advice. One thing I've heard everyone say up here, but I'm going to word it a little bit differently, is bet on yourself this year. You had stocks. I'm sure a lot of us in this room have stocks. You're betting on someone else. You're putting your money in to bet on them this year, that their stock is going to grow. What are you doing for you? How are you building you and what you want to see grow for yourself and creating, for me, it's creating generational wealth for my family. Like that is what I want. And that's my husband and I's goal. If you're anything like my husband and I, you have heard your entire life, you are too young. You're too young. You're not going to be successful. There's no way. We have ran multiple successful businesses right here in this area. My husband's father owns a successful business in this area. He was told that he was too young. He didn't have the college degree. He couldn't do it, barely graduated high school. He was told all day long he couldn't do it. And he did. And I'm so grateful for his story and hearing that our entire lives growing up. My husband and I are high school sweethearts. He did not get a handout from his father at all. Don't get me wrong, we do not come from that, but also got to see that drive and that work ethic. That goes such a long way too. So bet on yourself. And if someone's telling you that you're too young or that you shouldn't dive into your love for the Lord and say that on a platform, don't listen to them. I listened to someone who told me that once and I steered away from doing something that I felt like God was calling me to. Dive into it. Know what he is calling you to. Be so sure in that you're praying over it every single day, that you know what he's calling you to, and dive in. Don't steer away. Very good.
So before we get to some lightning round questions for our panelists, I want to open up the floor just really quick for anyone that may have questions for them.
Okay. This is probably Nathan Stewart. As far as social media goes, do you feel that it's necessary to have a separate business page than a personal page?
That is a great question. That is a mistake that I made. I made that mistake starting out. I don't know if it's advice that I heard from someone or what it was. Don't separate them. Don't separate your life. You are your brand. Take that. And yes, you're going to want most of everything that you post likely to be your business, but your stories are your life. Your stories are where people are following your family. They're following what you're doing, the craft that you made with your kid and all of these different things. Everything that I post on my page is for my business, but you follow along to my life and you get to know me and my stories. Don't do it. Don't start over. I made that mistake and it was really hard to start. That's my personal advice. Someone else up here might say something different, but yes, you want it to be mostly business, what you post, like your stories. People want to know you. They buy from you. I think Gordon's advice is similar. I myself made the mistake of multiple pages, and I think the guidance was the next double the content. Yes, like that, right?
If you have two, then you have to populate two, which is fine if you have two. But if you've got a real estate page and you haven't populated in 3 weeks, I assume you're out of business. Mm-hmm. So if you've got one, okay, great, populate it. Be the real estate expert. Be the real estate expert. But if you're not using it, your choice is either to blast it with some content or shut that thing down. But when I go and clients come to talk to me, like, let's get started, and I find a page and their photo looks like they're 18 and it's about 4 or 5 months empty, I'm like, I just assume you don't work in it.
See, we're feeling all right. Yeah.
Yeah, but we all need fresh photos. But if you've got one, hit it. Go it. I mean, it's different seminar. If you got one, hit it. But if not, and you're not using it, shut that thing down. You got to make a choice there.
Yeah, we photo and post and video everything. We go out to dinner. Ooh, only right, Cody?
Fabulous dinner was all empty.
Amber eats first.
Yeah.
Always. So part of the fun.
And then our daughter, who isn't even out with us most of the time, when we do bring her out, oh, the CEO was here. Everybody knows her as the CEO because that's what we post. That's what we put out because that is what we're working for. You know, she's never going to be able to work. So what we're doing now is laying the foundation for her. She's the CEO. So, I mean, down in Colonial Beach, they gave her a flower pot. Oh, the CEO, we gave the CEO a flower pot. I'm like, oh, let's say, like, we want to mess with dirt. Oh, great. You know, so they must be ready because people are going to know you, and that's what you want. You know.
Any other questions?
Yeah, questions.
You did not raise your hands.
So other than social media, what other ways can you establish your brand and get yourself out there? Like, is there any ways that you...
I'll spin one real quick. And charitable service is the best thing you can do. Find a cause that you can go to and serve for the sake of serving. Not to build your business. Great. But you will build your business. And so, but find a cause and dive in. I mean, I'm on Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and we don't have enough bigs for anything in the world. And you're not going to build your business by being a big, but you can build your business by being a big. Because the people in organizations who commit to real causes, you are connecting with the absolute best people in the community. So what do you love and what cause do you care about? Then go be a part of that. And then I promise you, if you commit, that organization's going to love you and they're going to throw your photo on every single thing that ever pops up, but you do it because the cause is good and right. Please do not, I don't assume that about any of you. Please don't do any for promo. I don't assume that about any of you, but there are people out there, I'm afraid they're just showing up for the photo op. I don't assume that about you. What do you love? What do you care about? Lean into it, be a good human being. It's going to come back to your business. It really will.
But Tim, I know your group does a lot of events for that referral business that you
Yeah,
grow.
I was going to say that. So a little bit old-fashioned, but we have something called our database. And we have a VIP list, we have a love list, and we have then the world list. It's about 500 people total. And so every level gets specific love. For example, this week, the VIP list is getting a Chick-fil-A gift card in the mail from us. It was $5 on it for National Biscuit Day, right? And so those people know us for being like loving, kind, we're here for you, like where you go to people. And that is our tribe in our world that we get business from like all the time. It's our bread and butter. If I did nothing else the rest of my life except for this live, I would sell probably 25 homes a year for the database plan alone.
I want to be on your list. I like Chick-fil-A.
One day thorough you get in.
But what to add to your first one? I was right. One thing, and this isn't a lightning round too, so I'm going to share it now. But one thing that really works for my business is Flowdesk. If you don't know what Flowdesk is, it's an email marketing tool that you can add all of your people to, and it's very simple and pretty. It fits my brand really well. I like clean. I like black and neutral colors. That's who I am in a day-to-day basis. Flowdesk. It's great. It really is. You can add in your Instagram and all of those things right there, and it links directly. It's wonderful. If you don't use it, I highly suggest that one.
So the other question was about social media. So if I wanted to get better at it, what is one thing I could focus on to start now?
Post daily, consistent.
Yeah.
That post.
So where do you learn to do that from? Because I mean, you can post, but
So what I do personally is I don't recreate the wheel. I find what I like that someone else has posted and I make it mine. Don't recreate the wheel. If you love what they're doing, then copy it. If you do copy it, that's fine. Tag them. They love it when you do that, especially if it's like, I follow some big realtors. If you don't know any big realtors that you like to follow, message me today and I'll send you some that I love. There's some people that are so funny and witty, and that is not me at all. I don't try to be that. I am not the funny person that's going to make you laugh on social media. No, I'm great at like the B-rolls and helping people answer a question. Follow someone that you like to follow and do what they do, but twist it a little bit.
Still.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know mortgage is one thing you're going to talk about. What are four easy things about you? Make that your brand. Just rotate. Because we just got to get to know you. Nobody here gets to have a private life if they want to eat. If you want to make money, you don't have a private life anymore. You get to decide what's public. That's fine. But you don't get to be private because no one gives $10,000 to private people. And so you've got to decide, what about me do I want to share? And then decide that, and then just go through it daily. I'm going to talk about this today. I'm going to talk about this tomorrow. And it just makes it easier because it's just a natural extension about yourself. It can be cats, it can be cooking, it can be the gym. It does not matter. And gardener, it does not matter. There is an audience who will find some interest in those things because it's just naturally who you are. And so your three options: either go online or learn how to do it, pay for a coach, or pay for someone to do it. Those are the only three options you have. Go figure it out online, pay for a coach, pay for someone to do it.
do you think quality matters a lot? Because I think that's the one
And
thing that takes out.
it'll get better. I don't mean to interrupt you. It'll get better. We all stink at the beginning.
Yeah.
We all do, but it gets better. And the only way it gets better, I hope I didn't interrupt you, the only way the quality comes is repetition and reps. It's like the gym. It's like anything else. But if we only post randomly, we just don't get better.
And that face you mean, that's how we looked when started working with one. Like,
You mean to post what? Like, prove on you.
That's not based on
You can deal.
I'm with mine too. But through his process, you get to know who you are a little bit more. We all think, oh, I know who I am. But during his process, we got to know who we are, especially in terms of our business. And it helped us grow. And I try to do my little videos. I used to try to do my hot yoga videos, sad thing.
Oh, good thing no.
And they're very corny. He tells me all the time that was so corny. But it's like, okay, you want me to do it? That's what I am. It's corny. And I even say that in my video. Okay, I know that this is kind of corny, but, you know.
Don't act like that's the haggy.
One thing about social media that's really a great piece of advice that I got, and Gordon, you'll probably back this up, is yes, be authentic and post you, but your major life happenings. Like when I say major, I'm thinking divorce or maybe a death in your family. If you're not comfortable sharing that right away, wait to share it. Wait 3 months, see how you feel in 3 months about sharing that, and then share it. So big thing that happened in our life 4 years ago, it was what actually helped me start our private real estate career with our nieces came to live with us. So we became parents of teenagers overnight. I did not share them on social media for about a year. And now you see them on my social media all the time, but that was something that was really hard for us as a family. I didn't know if my kids would be comfortable with it. They went through so many changes. So wait on those, like, yes, share all about your life, but the big life changes, maybe take some time to think about this first.
Yeah.
If I can add really quick too, so just to help too, like me encourage you. I know that for me, I have a couple like how I had to close it with, but I could say clean up in the pipe tiles with your lenders. But the kid I noticed, I was like, oh, she rode motorcycles, and I was like, oh, her and her husband are in cars. I didn't know that about you. And so I started to talk. We get like a couple, and so it's hard.
Come on.
They guys ready? Love on my next one. I think those these tracks love it as a real thing. See,
A brand building right there, Celine.
yeah, you are into it. You're doing it. Jim the baby. That's it.
Oh my God.
Oh, you turn me right.
Yeah.
See, you're listening. See, it's like, hey, I'll get Korean food. Hello.
So you're fine. I'm going to move it to our lightning round right now. I just want to be mindful of time, and then you guys can storm the stage and ask all of the questions afterwards. So this is lightning round for each of you. So short, quick answers. I will listen but this is just, these questions are coming from the perspective of, right, if you were teaching somebody how you use your brand, how you would answer this. So what is one defining characteristic that sets your business apart?
Serving over selling every single fact.
Julie?
We don't manage properties. We optimize portfolios and strategy first mindset.
Marketing company that educates you and equips you to do what you do better.
We serve.
There you go. See? I think they've all just demonstrated once you figure out what that brand is, it makes it really easy for you to talk about it.
And you will attract people. Yeah, it'll be natural.
And then one game-changing tool or tip. So in one sentence, share one marketing tool or tactic you consider a game changer for any realtor to use.
My first one was Flowdesk, which I ended up giving it. I'm sorry. Yeah. So Flowdesk, that's one of my biggest one. And then Canva is my second one. I create everything in Canva. It's pretty. It's my brand, and my team gets to use it as well.
And I would say build an ecosystem. Surround yourself with trusted partners who will elevate your brand and help serve your clients.
Make one 60-second video a day.
Read your Bible.
Oh, yeah. Take it back. That was good.
So before we let you go, just a couple closing remarks. First, can we say thank you to our baby for sharing your perspective and your expertise. So just a reminder, YPN is for the young at heart.